Today, the world looks at Russia through the lens of geopolitics and conflict. But beneath the permafrost and between the pages of forgotten chronicles lies a secret that official history has tried to ignore. There is a gap in knowledge between what we think we know about the evangelization of the East and what the peoples of the North actually lived through 2,000 years ago. While Jesus was dying on Calvary, a cosmic event shook the planet. We have seen how astronomers of the Han Dynasty in China recorded the impossible eclipse of AD 33. But what happened in the extreme lands of Scythia, present-day Russia? Are there documents and oral traditions that prove that even there, among the pagan tribes of the north, they knew? They knew that a king had died and that the cosmos was weeping. Today, we will dig through ancient Russian manuscripts and breathtaking archaeological discoveries to show you that Russia was not reached by the gospel by chance, but had already been marked by the blood of the Passion. Prepare to discover the hidden link that binds the Russian steppe to Golgotha. Let's begin with a documentary proof that few Western historians ever cite. In the ancient Slavic Chronicles, collections of oral traditions reaching back to centuries before the official Christianization, there is talk of a Day of Terror. The legends of the peoples of the North say that, in time immemorial, the sun vanished from the sky in the middle of the day, not because of a natural eclipse, but as if the heavens themselves had been torn open. Just as we saw in China, where the imperial annals record, the sun was eclipsed, darkness covered everything, so too, in the remote lands we now call Russia, people saw that darkness. The ancient Slavs, who at that time worshipped nature-bound deities, interpreted that sign as the death of a god of light. But there is a shocking detail that emerges from Nestor's Chronicle, the oldest historical document of Russia. It speaks of a journey, the journey of the Apostle Andrew, the first called. Official history says Russia was baptized in AD 988, but the hidden documents tell another truth. Russia encountered Christ almost 1,000 years earlier. Saint Andrew traveled up the Dnieper River, reached the hills where Kyiv now stands, and planted a cross, prophesying, "On these mountains the grace of God will shine." Why would an apostle push so far into wild and frozen lands? Because he knew that this people had already seen the sign of the black sun, and they were waiting for an explanation. Now we move to the physical proof, the one that challenges modern science. In Russia, there is a phenomenon that repeats itself with a frequency unmatched anywhere else in the world: icons that stream myrrh or bleed. Many dismiss it as suggestion, but in recent years, Russian and international scientists have been given permission to analyze these secretions. What they found shook the conscience of the researchers. In the case of the icon of the Mother of God in Moscow and in other Russian shrines, the analyzed liquid was found to be real human blood. But here is the connection that overturns everything. Forensic analyses confirmed that it is blood of the AB group, the same blood group as the Shroud of Turin, the same as the tunic of Argenteuil, the same as that reported in Eucharistic miracles around the world. How is it possible that icons of dry wood made in Russia centuries ago emit living blood with the same biological signature of the man of Calvary? Russian science, often skeptical and materialistic, has not been able to provide answers. But this blood tells us that Russia is bound to the Passion by a red biological thread. It is as if God chose the Russian land to preserve a continuous proof of the vitality of his sacrifice. Speaking to a people who have always lived between the deepest mysticism and the fiercest atheism. Now we enter the heart of the prophetic mystery. In 1917, while Russia was about to fall into the abyss of state atheism with the October Revolution, at Fatima, the Virgin Mary spoke specifically about this nation. Why Russia? Why not the United States, or Germany, or France? Mary said, "Russia will spread her errors throughout the world, but in the end, my immaculate heart will triumph and Russia will be converted." There is a unique spiritual link between Russian soil and the Passion. Russia was called to live a collective passion, a century of martyrdom in which millions of Christians died in the Gulags rather than deny Christ. Few know that during the Soviet persecutions, many prisoners reported visions of a suffering man walking with them through the snows of Siberia. Documented testimonies speak of impossible miracles in the Russian labor camps, where black bread became true flesh during clandestine celebrations. Russia knew, because it was living in its own skin, the same agony of Golgotha. The prophecy of Fatima is not a political warning, but the recognition that Russia has a central role in God's final plan. But now we return to archaeology. Recent excavations in the southern regions of Russia have unearthed rudimentary Christian crosses dating to the 2nd century AD, long before the official conversion. But the most unsettling discovery is the finding of ancient pagan amulets engraved with the symbol of a man with outstretched arms, surrounded by a darkened sun. These artifacts prove that the memory of the eclipse of AD 33 was so deeply rooted among Scythian and Slavic populations that it became a religious symbol even before missionaries arrived. These peoples of the north had recorded the event in their cultural DNA. Moreover, chemical analyses conducted on ancient burials in the Russian Caucasus have revealed traces of ointments and incense that were found exclusively in Judea in the 1st century. How did they end up there? Was there a secret trade route linking Jerusalem to Russia? Many scholars today believe that the earliest Christians, fleeing persecution, traveled up the Silk Roads and the northern routes, carrying with them not only faith, but physical traces of the Passion, evidence that the Russians safeguarded for millennia. Why does all of this matter for your conscience today? Because the story of Russia teaches us that God forgets no corner of the earth. If even in the most remote and icy lands the sign of the cross was pressed into the sky and into the ground 2,000 years ago, it means none of us is an accident of history. We have seen the Chronicles of the Black Sun. We have seen AB blood in Russian icons. We have heard the prophecies of Fatima. Russia knew because the Passion of Christ is an event that tore open time and space, touching even those thousands of miles away. Today, these ancient proofs rising again from Russia are a sign. God is using Russian history with all its weight of suffering and faith to tell us that His presence is real, physical, documentable. The miracle is not a shadow of the past. It is a light that still shines, especially where the darkness seems thickest. We have reached the end of this journey through the secret of the North. We have discovered that Russia is not only a world power, but a land marked by God from the very day of the Passion. From eclipses remembered by ancient shamans to the living blood of modern icons, the truth cries out from stone and ice. This Lent, let the testimony of Russia shake your soul. If God spoke to the peoples of the North when they were still in the darkness of paganism, imagine how much He wants to speak to you today. The evidence is before our eyes. The sacrifice of Christ has left a universal trace. Never forget this truth we have uncovered together. Carry it with you like a shield. His blood is not a relic of the past, but a living bridge to my future. Say it with us. His blood is my living bridge. If this video has opened a new window onto your faith and shown you an unseen face of history, act now. Subscribe to the channel and share this video with someone who thinks faith is only a cultural fact. Show them that Russia, China, and the whole planet trembled before the cross. Comment, Jesus is the Lord of the whole world, to testify that you too have seen the evidence. May God bless us all.